Palworld's newest update, Sakurajima, is finally here, and it is massive. It added in new pals, a new region, new items, weapons, gear, you get it. There is a lot, but there's one addition that is oh so special, this guy. This pal is named Croajiro, or I lovingly call it Frog with a Stick. In today's video, I'm only going to be using Frog with a Stick to beat Palworld's very first tower. This will be a harder challenge because all I get is Frog with a Stick. I'm not going to get any other base pals, and there is no lucky clause. If I see a lucky, I will either kill it, or I will run away from it. Regardless, this run will test me, it might break me, and it may even make me croak. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. New Palworld save, a new me. Today, our main character's name is Frogman, with all capital letters. Frogman is green and, well, he likes frogs, so this run is perfect for him. I designed Frogman with Croajiro in mind, and do they look alike or what? I spent quite a while just getting my first initial set of gear. I built a stone axe, then a pickaxe, then I made a bow and some arrows. Once I had some arrows made, I felt like it was time to attempt my very first hunt. I saw 3 lonesome chickapee just asking for these hands, and I went for it. Things went well. As I leveled up, and as I made more gear, like the cloth outfit, the glider, or even the common shield, I could feel myself becoming more eager to meet my very first partner. I looked over the horizon and I felt excitement knowing that there were indeed frogs that had sticks just a short trek away from me. I'm currently level 7, and I have 14 pal spheres and a dream. That dream is to capture oh so many frogs with sticks. I don't know how many to be exact, but it'll be a lot. I continued my journey to where my very first future partner would be. It was getting dark though, so I decided to rest my weary legs and I made a small camp by this creek. I stare up at the starry sky and I can almost see a frog with a stick in the stars. I woke up from a wistful sleep and am re-energized to find my frogs. Today's the day. We take a huge step to completing this challenge. I passed through the ruins of an old castle wall, only to be greeted by my very first group of frogs that were indeed holding sticks. It was time. I was for sure a little nervous because it was 3 of them at once, and boy oh boy did they pack a punch, especially when I'm only little old me. The first Croajiro I caught had Clumsy, which isn't great, but I was able to throw it out and use its partner skill, Leap Stance, to catapult myself above the other 2. I unfortunately had to sacrifice this Croajiro to be able to catch the second one. The second one had conceded. Still not necessarily what I'm looking for, but I'm happy to get some frogs. The final Croajiro had Pyromaniac. Interesting trait, but kind of useless for what we're going for here. I figured I wouldn't be getting amazing passives right off the bat though. Frogman is ready to catch more. Frogman got a taste for frogs and is ready to capture all of them. Frogman has, dare I say it, a frog lust. I spotted 3 more and I went to town. I caught 2 of them, and the final third one somehow got stuck under the map. Croajiro and I were for sure perplexed about what had happened here, but it didn't stop us. Nay, I say it gave us even more motivation to find more frogs. I decided to make a pal box on this island here since the Croajiro were spawning around this area. I then looked at all of my frogs. Now, I don't have the ability glasses yet, but I think this Croajiro that has no passives might have some pretty high IVs compared to its peers. As of now, this is going to be my main Froggo. With Froggo at the helm of my party, we went out to search for more of our brethren. We found 2 more soon-to-be friends, and our pal team leader, Froggo, got a little overzealous and ended up killing both of them. This was a small setback, and I was for sure worried that maybe she got a little bit of a bloodlust because of this, and could have potentially been drunk on her own power. But I didn't let these negative thoughts cloud my vision. We had a challenge to complete, and we would forge ahead. Froggo and I had some very serious chats, and we decided that us frogs needed a place to rest our sweet little heads while we were doing this journey, so we got to base building. With this base finally completed, I wanted to pet Froggo to show my appreciation, and then this happened. I think that's its tongue? Whatever, it's time to rest. It's the dawn of the next day, and it's time to expand our frog army. Finding new Croajiro was not an easy task though. This is one of the earliest spots to find them, so I planned on staying here a while to catch quite a few of them with hopefully some good passives. So I just ran this route. I'd start from my base, run down the beach, catch the frogs if they were there, then if not, I'd be running up to this teleporting back to my base, and then rinse and repeat. If this wasn't bad enough, sometimes they would spawn so far out in the water that it'd be nearly impossible to get at them. I did find out that Croajiro's partner ability can be used in the water though, so that's actually pretty cool. Anyway, I kept doing this for a while, like a long time. So much so that I decided to look at the habitat for Croajiro, and I was absolutely dumbfounded. Look at this. It is time to move locations to look for more of our frog brethren. I made my way to my new hunting grounds, and I could tell it would go much smoother over here. I got my very first gold passive too. It was Diet Lover, which isn't really what I'm looking for, but hey, I'm not complaining. I stayed in this area for a while, running up and down the coast, dreaming of frog with a stick. Are they born with that stick? Do they choose whatever their stick is? Is the stick a part of them? I don't know, I just had so many questions. And those questions may never get answered, but that's life. A series of unanswered questions about frogs and their sticks. Anyway, I kept catching the frogs, and I came across a huge damp egg. Now, this could totally not be a Croajiro, and odds are it's not. But if it is a Croajiro, it'll be an alpha Croajiro. So I decided to bring this egg home with me, and I will hatch it later on. If it's a frog, great. If not, it's going to be sold off to a life of servitude to a black marketeer. I continued hunting for Croajiro, and I caught quite a lot of them. I didn't find anything too amazing. There was only one of note, and it had Vanguard. I kept searching until the sun started setting, and as I combed the beaches looking for frogs with a stick, I kept seeing sticks, but no frogs. I wondered if this was a Croajiro stick. Did it lose it? And then I continued thinking about what the stick actually was. Was it just a stick? Or like, seriously, is this a part of Croajiro's body? I decided to read the Paldex entry, and it goes as follows. Those who disgrace the honor of the herd are forced to take their own life. Ugh. By piercing their inflated vocal sac with a tree branch, they are blown away into the atmosphere and return to the afterlife. Good God. So the stick is indeed just a stick then, it seems. This Paldex entry is kind of brutal, but it really just makes me think of Croajiro flying away like a balloon that you let the air out of, you know what I mean? Okay, it is a new day, and it is now time to make some actual progress now. These are the Croajiro that I've decided to have on my team for the time being. We have the OG Croajiro that may or may not have good IVs, Frogo. Next up is She-Guard, the Croajiro with Vanguard. Then we have Frogo Drago, the Croajiro with Blood of the Dragon. Next is the Woodsman, that has Nimble and Logging Foreman. And then last but not least, I have Mother Earth, the Croajiro that has Power of Gaia. I plan on teaching her only ground moves, which could come in handy. Okay, with the team in hand, it's time to gear up with some good moves, which means skill fruit trees. On the way to the skill fruit trees, I decided to take on as many other pals as I could to level my team up to level 11 before the fight. I got to the tree and got Icicle Cutter, Implode, and Seed Mine. I taught Icicle Cutter and Seed Mine to She-Guard, and Implode to Frogo. I don't know why I gave Implode to Frogo, but I think it'll be pretty funny seeing my Frogo run up to Chillet and just imploding. Oh, by the way, it's now time to fight Chillet. Getting to the arena, I found the Poison Blast Fruit and I taught it to Frogo. Okay, now it is officially time to take on the Wiggly Boy. Chillet was crossing the bridge, and I decided this would be the perfect spot for our showdown. And boy, was I right. Frogo instantly went into the fight with Implode, and wow. That's all I can say. I can't believe that worked as well as it did. Thank you, whoever, what is it? Blade of the Samurai, thank you for subscribing. Anyway, yeah, no, I was not expecting implode to work as well as it did. Needless to say, I'm very sad that Froggo had to sacrifice itself, but you gotta admit, that worked out perfectly. Alright, chill it down. You know what else worked perfectly? This segue into me asking you to subscribe to my channel. We are so close to 10,000 subscribers that I can taste it. As it stands now, 80.7% of you who watch are not even subscribed, and you may not even know it. So please check down below if you are. If you're not, please hit that sub button. I can't do any of this without all of you, so thank you again for everything. And a huge shout out to my channel members. All of you are wonderful, and that little extra support from you really goes a long way. So thanks again. With my ancient technology point from this fight, I learned the egg incubator technology. It is now time to see if that huge damp egg is actually a frog or not. I was on my way back to my base and then a supply drop happened. I obviously had to go check this out. After climbing up a mountain, I got to the supply drop finally and was greeted with level 22 syndicate members. They had guns, dear viewer. It was a hard fight, but me and Shigard prevailed. Once we took them out, I checked to see what our bounty was. We got the single shot rifle schematic 1, 2 speed remedies, 20 oil, 5 hyperspheres, and the best prize, a heat resistant undershirt. With that, I just might be able to go over to the volcano area, the desert, or the Alpha Anubis desert area. Either way, this opened up a lot of possibilities for us, and I am stoked. I went back to my base to rescue Froggo from that chillet fight that happened so long ago. It just didn't feel right having her knocked out. Now that that's done, let's make an incubator and see what's inside that huge damp egg. Moment of truth, frog with a stick. Dang it, it's a celery. No. Okay, well. You know what we do to pals that are not frog with a stick. We go to the fort ruins. We then go visit our lovely local black marketeer. We then sell contraband, and we get rid of celery for a whopping 471 gold. We don't like your kind around here. Are you selling frog with a stick? No, you're not. This is what we do to black marketeers that do not sell frog with a stick. Okay, back to the task at hand. I still need skill fruits, like a lot of them. I traveled oh so far. Let me tell you how long this takes on foot. I'm still very lucky and happy to have Croajiro though. Their partner skill has made my travels far easier. I finally got to my next skill fruit tree and got Dragon Burst, Draconic Breath, and Electric Ball. I taught both my dragon moves to Froggo Drago, and taught Electric Ball to Froggo. On my way to my next tree, I found another damp egg. I picked it up in hopes of getting more frogs. I then continued my travels. I was gliding, and sliding, and all the other movement things. I got to my next tree and got Lightning Streak, Plasma Tornado, and Poison Blast. I taught Lightning Streak to Shigard and the other 2 moves to Woodsman. I found my very first Meemog and I decided to trap it and take it out. Dog coin will for sure be needed if I want to get more accessories or level up my stats a bit or even just look cooler. The craziest thing about this encounter was what happened next. No, it was not me fighting these 2 Gale Claws. It was this. Yeah, well, there is the very first lucky of this run. And like I told you guys before, we do not catch luckies in this run. If it's not frog with a stick, we don't want it. The only problem is, this is level 21. And I hate to say it, but I think we're going to have Froggo do implode. I do feel a little bit bad about this, but it has to happen. Oh god. It knows Draco Meteor. Good lord. Man, a Lucky Claws would have been cool. I love Lucky Univolt. I think it's so awesome. I love how big it is. If you do not implode, we are going to die. No, honestly, why am I leaving it up to chance? There, go implode. It didn't implode, it just died. Okay, well, here we go. Oh, that was a lot of damage. This is so bad. This team is not made for dealing with electric types. Which has me concerned about Zoe and Grisbolt, I'm not gonna lie. But I say that all the time and we end up, you know, completely decimating them, so I'm sure it'll be okay. I should have waited. This is so bad. I can't die here. You know how long it took me to get here? We're leaving. We can't handle it. I'm good. I'm so good. Yeah, I had full intentions of taking that Lucky down. Like, 100% was ready to do it. But then I realized I haven't unlocked a fast travel point, like, close to here yet. And then I thought about how long it took me to get here. And, you know, it all kind of fell into perspective that I should just leave. Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. Although it sucked having to run away, it was still cool to see. I made it to my next tree and got Icicle Cutter. I taught this to Woodsman. Seed Machine Gun, I taught this to Sheguard, and finally, I got my first ground move, Sandblast, who I definitely taught to Mother Earth. It's nice finally getting a ground move. I would for sure like to get a few more for Mother Earth and Sheguard before we do the tower. I got some more teleport points, and then I went back to my base. Okay, first things first, let's heal up Froggo. While doing this, I noticed there were 3 Croajiro behind my base. I decided to catch all of them, and I got pretty lucky. Oh my god, we got a burly body. Oh, the team is changing. It is time to change the team a little bit. So noble, sale price. Okay, never mind, that's not great. But burly body, that's very exciting. I hate to say it, but I think we say goodbye. Oh man, do we say goodbye to Froggo? We might say goodbye to Froggo. Like, I know Froggo's kind of like the implode pal. I guess we could get rid of Woodsman. Well, no, Woodsman has better attack. Yeah, so Woodsman has better attack, but Froggo has better defense and HP. Okay, yeah, we're getting rid of Woodsman. Welcome to the team. Oh man, what do we call a burly body frog? You know what? Easy. Buff Froggo. Done and done. Welcome to the team, Buff Froggo. Alright, let's see if this large damp egg is another Froggo. It's a Pen King. Oh, of course it's a Pen King. I love Pen King. Dang it. Well, we will have to sell off Pen King. We do not like their kind around here, you know? I went to the small settlement to sell the interloper known as Pen King, then came to the conclusion that it's time to start dungeon running. This was just your normal run-of-the-mill level 13 dungeon, so nothing too crazy happened. I took on every single enemy that I saw while we were in there just to level up. I leveled up to 14, the boss was a Lift Monk, which normally isn't an issue, but this one was beefy. And I can only do so much damage with an old blow too. I did indeed almost die, but we got through it. The chest at the end had 2 skill fruits in them, Grass Tornado and Plasma Tornado. I decided to teach both of these to Buff Froggo. Now it's that time. Yep, time to grind some experience to level up myself and my team of frogs. While I do these dungeons, I got a comment on one of my videos a while back ago, and I would like to respond to. The comment reads, "Your speech was great, but have you dealt with the trauma of being hit by a car and nearly dying at a young age?" Well, yes and no. I've never been hit by a car, but I have quite a bit of trauma from almost dying at a young age. I was 11 years old at the time, and I got incredibly sick, like was sleeping for 23 hours a day, was losing my vision, vomiting constantly due to double vision, My head was swelling from pressure in my brain, so much so that my right eye started to protrude from its socket. This went on for a year. I had to get 8 spinal taps to relieve my pressure, and one of those spinal taps caused a blood clot on my spine that left me paralyzed from the waist down. Now, I did get an injection in my hip to fix said blood clot, so no worries there. Doctors had no idea what was wrong with me. After an incredible amount of tests and living in hospitals for almost a year straight, I was diagnosed with a relatively rare disease called pseudotumor cerebri. If you are unaware, pseudo means fake, tumor means tumor, and cerebri speaks of the brain/head. My brain was essentially fending off a tumor that didn't exist. It was pretty crazy. My case was so severe that it's actually a case study over at Case Western. My doctors even decided to call this a malignant variant of this disease because how fast it attacked and how it almost killed me. I had to get my surgery done 3 days after my 12th birthday. I got a lumbar puncture shunt installed into my spine, and this essentially is a reservoir in my spine. It has a gate that will open up once my pressure gets to a certain level, and then I'm all good. So yeah, I do indeed understand what it means to almost die at a young age. It's a scary thing. You know, you aren't the superhero you thought you were. And for me, I lost my childhood. My case was so bad that I have memory loss. From the ages of 11 and back, my memory is almost gone. I have bits and pieces, but for the most part, it's hazy at best. As an adult, I realized that I was looking at my own trauma the wrong way. I looked at it like it wasn't a big deal. You know, I survived. What's the point of making this into something bigger than it really is, I thought. And that was wrong. You know, I wish I was taken into therapy as a child after my disease. I had a critical awareness on what death was at 12 years old. It's not an easy thing to work on or get over. But what I did as an adult, almost 2 decades later, was trying to separate my present self and my child self, if that makes any sense. I pretty much try to envision talking to myself as a child, and telling my child self the things I wish others in my life would have told me at the time. I won't go into details about that though, because that's for me, not for you, dear viewer. The cliff notes of what I tell my child self was that it was okay to be scared, and it wasn't my fault about what happened. And it's very interesting dealing with trauma. It's a lifelong journey. I'm 30 years old now, and even writing this out, talking about what I tell my child self just kinda gets me choked up a little bit. I don't know if any of this will help you out, dear viewer, but understand that this world is a gargantuan place, and I promise you, you aren't alone. Someone out there has experienced exactly what you're going through, and I really hope that gives you a little bit of peace, knowing that you're not alone. But anyway, it's back to Palworld things now. I almost got to level 17 doing dungeons, and decided to take on Grintail. Now, this fight should have been relatively simple because it's Grintail. But it wasn't, because dear old MegaBits neglected to repair any of his gear, which meant Grintail had an absolute blast breaking all of it. By the end of this fight, I was forced to use my axe, then my pickaxe, then even my fists at some point. It was a pain, sure, but hey, we did it, and I hit level 17. I went back to my base, repaired my gear, then built a statue of power, a training dummy, caught 3 new frogs, and then leveled up my pals with pal souls. I then built a small feed bag because I'm tired of being hungry. I feel like I'm almost ready for the tower now, but I'm worried about me and my team's damage output. I need more skill fruits, and you know what that means. The first skill fruit tree I went to didn't have its fruit respawned yet. I was frustrated by this for sure, so I took out said frustration on Chillet. Now, I am somewhat worried about the other trees I normally go to. They're not going to have their fruits respawned either, and sure, I could go to others, but man, it is a long walk. Speaking of long walks, the next place I plan on going to is going to take a while, and I'm going to need gold. Lots and lots of gold. It's time to take out some withdrawals from black marketeers and trusts. I got some gold, then decided to take on Pen King since it was really close to the black marketeer. This fight was pretty easy using buff Froggo. I leveled up to 18, and since I had enough ancient technology points, I was able to unlock the Pal Essence Condenser. I still don't have a way to get ingots aside from farming Bushi, so we'll see if I even end up making this. It's just nice to have the option. So my next stop is going to be somewhere where I can buy a gun. It can be the makeshift handgun or a handgun. I don't really care either way, but I really need more firepower. My first attempt at doing this was bad. I started heading to the desiccated desert to get to Dune Shelter. On the way there, I did run into this. Okay, you know, this is not nice. I can do nothing with this. I'll throw one hypersphere. Well, wait, no. I can't even do that. Sorry. I was going off on, like, my normal, like, oh, what do I do with the lucky? Yeah, no, never mind. We just run away. We don't get luckies in this run. That's not a frog. After that, I did get to the desiccated desert, and, well, it went as well as you probably expect with me being undergeared and underleveled. The Toko are here to welcome me. Oh, that's not great. Oh, this is so bad. Oh, I just gotta survive just a little bit longer. Oh my god, we made it. Oh, we made it. Yes, we're here. We got to the desiccated desert. Ah. Okay, well, that is only part one of this incredibly arduous task. I'm level 18, and everything here can kill me in probably one hit. Yeah, so off to Dune Shelter, hopefully, fingers crossed. Oh no. Oh shoot, I'm dead. Dang it, man. I did not plan for this. Oh. It took so long getting there. Okay, maybe not the desiccated desert. Maybe we try the volcano area. Oh, that sucks. Dang it. Got it. Okay, so I'm thinking Dune Shelter is off limits for now. So let's go to the volcano area and try to get a makeshift handgun. After a while of traveling, I did get to Mount Obsidian. Once getting there, I discovered that I still don't have enough heat resistance to survive there. So I went back to my base and crafted the tropical outfit. This made it possible to traverse hot areas, and off I went on my long journey to Fisherman's Point. While heading that way, I had a meteor crash directly into the ground. Okay, I was doing some work things, and I just noticed that we have a meteorite, and there's a Xeno guard here. That's level 33. Oh my god. You know, not today. Nope, that's not on us. Let's go She-Guard. We're out of here. We don't need a Xenoguard. We have a She-Guard. I continued this journey, and after so much walking, jumping off Croajiro, and sliding, I finally made it. I officially have a makeshift handgun and some ammo for it. This was a massively huge step here. Realistically, I think we're probably ready to fight Zoe and Grisbolt, but I kinda want to get up to level 20 before I do that, as just a final just-in-case measure. I first fought Grintail again, mostly just to get revenge since it broke all of my gear during our last fight. I then went to fight Chillet. After defeating Chillet, I leveled up to 19. I watched Froggo, the imploding Croajiro sleep, and I don't know, I was planning on getting to level 20, but I'm just feeling like it may be time to attempt to take down Zoe and Grisbolt now. It may be ill thought out, sure, but I think I'm ready. So let's do this. I repaired my gear, used the rest of my Pal Souls, then I headed to the Foreboding Tower. Would me and the Frogs win? Was this possible? I didn't have the answer to that, but I knew that I was ready to give it my all. honestly, this fight went off without a hitch. My shots and my dodges were on point, and all of my frogs were able to, get procs off, either burns or freezes, which helped incredibly. Every time I do these challenges, I always feel like I won't be able to beat the challenge itself. Like I didn't prepare enough, or something like that. But every single time I do these challenges, it usually always turns out to be that I over-prepared, and I'm always fine. And this was that exact outcome. I was for sure over-prepared, and I inevitably took down Zoe and Grizzball.
Mother Earth, finish this off! Finish this off, Mother Earth! Oh, you're taking too long. Sorry, Mother Earth. We got it!
Ah, frogs, man. How awesome are they? I'm pretty stoked with how this turned out, and even though I had a lot of restrictions, especially with only using Croajiro, this was pretty fun. I love this new pal, and I'm pretty excited to see what Palworld holds in the future. But anyway, that's all I got. Bye!